So in this video, I'm gonna talk about how to date women at work, what I think, and my approach. So like and share this episode.
Do you find yourself struggling to meet women through online dating apps? Are you tired of constantly swiping left with no success and not knowing what to say to get the attention of a woman? Look no further. Our expert tips and tricks will give you the confidence you need to succeed in the online dating world. It's time to start taking control of your dating life and master the art of online dating. Imagine meeting some of the most attractive women in the world. Our game-changing program will help you navigate the world of online dating with confidence and charm. From creating a standout profile to crafting the perfect message, we've got you covered every step of the way. Our program covers everything you need to know to make a lasting impression. Say goodbye to endless swiping and hello to meaningful connections with the women of your dreams. Join the countless men who have found success in meeting women through online dating by following our time-tested and proven strategies. Take the first step towards improving your dating life today. Master the art of online dating and take your game to the next level. With our proven strategies, you'll be a pro at online dating in no time. So don't wait. Go to onlinedatingfordummies.com and get started today. And take control of your dating life, and you'll be light years ahead of most men with our groundbreaking program. Get ready to swipe right with confidence and watch your success explode. So don't wait. Get started today by going to onlinedatingfordummies.com and take the first step towards finding your perfect match.
So here we go. How to date women at work. This is a question that I've been getting over the past 3 months. In some way, shape, or form, people want to know how to navigate the waters at work as far as meeting men and women. So, what I always say is it depends on if you like the job or if you want to keep that job. And the reason why I say that is because there's a risk that comes with dating somebody at your job. Because it could go bad if you was to date someone from your job. And what happens when it goes bad? If it goes bad, you could be fired. Your days could be numbered at that job. If you like that job, if you want that job, right? Now, the only time I think it's okay to date at a job is if, look, it's your last day, your last week, and hey, you collect all the phone numbers you want. Because you on your way out anyway, so it don't even matter, right? That's how I've done it. But if that's not the case, if I especially if this is my only income, if it's just my only income, I can't really afford to take chances like that. So I don't do it, me personally, right? However, now there's certain environments where dating your coworkers is okay. In most cases, it's not okay based on the job policies. But people, we know they still date each other anyway, secretly, right? And it's easy to really date people that you work with because you see them all the time. And the longer people tend to be around each other, they begin to have feelings for each other. That's why it's so easy to date people at work. Now, like I said, there's certain companies out here where it's allowed. It's very few. But there's certain companies out here, they're allowing their coworkers to date each other. Now, see, the problem with that is unfortunately, the work environment is already a toxic environment anyway. It's already a difficult environment to be productive in. So how I always look at it is like this. I want things to be simple. I don't want to complicate anything. So I always look at it like, I don't need things to be any more complicated than it already is. So that's why I always chose not to date anybody at work. However, if you're going to do it, just collect the phone numbers and call them outside the job. That's what I've done. And especially if you have a new job that you're getting in, and you know you got the new job and your days are numbered and you're on your way out, or have at it. You know, it don't even matter then. You already had your next job offer coming, and you already turning your 2 weeks notice, or however long the notice is. They know you on the way out. So hey, have at it. You know, actually, you know what? I found that once your coworkers know that you're on the way out, you're quitting, I found that that's kind of easy way to collect a few phone numbers, because it's going to be some people that's going to be happy you're leaving, and probably a handful of people that's going to be like, hey, you know what? Maybe we should keep in contact. You know, now they're not going to come out and say that. You're going to have to initiate that type of conversation. But that's an easy approach of telling a couple of women that, hey, you know, my last day is such and such and such. And just see how they respond. You know, if they say, hey, oh, that's great. You know, you got a new job elsewhere. And if you say, yeah, I got a new job at such and such and such. And see how they respond. If they kind of act nonchalant, like, oh, okay, that's cool. I hope everything work out good for you, whatever. That's probably not someone you want to keep in contact with. You know, you can kind of pick up on it. You kind of pick up on the vibe and how they look at you when you say when's your last day. You'll be able to pick up on it in most cases. So you don't got to be a genius to figure this out. You're going to know. And some people, the majority of people ain't going to say shit when it's time for you to leave. They're going to be happy you're leaving in most cases, you know. But I found that that's one of the best ways to collect phone numbers on your way out. You know what I'm saying? But while you're working that job, I say, in my opinion, it's too much risk, you know, especially if I have more than one income. And I've been there. I've worked jobs where I had one income, and I worked jobs where I had 4 or 5 incomes outside the job. And I tell you what, it's a whole hell of a lot different having more than one income if you work a job. Your mind is at ease. You're not walking on, you know, you're not stressing. You're not walking around on pins and needles thinking about what could happen or what might happen, you know, today or tomorrow, or if you make a mistake or you got rolled up again, you getting picked on or whatever, you know, or some women might say, I'm being bullied, you know, that type of talk, you know. So you're not really stressed, you know, because it's like you have more than one income, and if you was to lose your job, you'd be okay. You might have to make some adjustments, but you'd be just fine. You know? So it's a totally different ball game when you have more than one income working these jobs. But if you have one income, oh man, that's probably the worst position to be in. Especially if your managers and coworkers know it. Because they'll try to use that as leverage on you to get you to do extra work, overtime, you know, while they go home early and doing most of the time nothing. But they'll try to get you to do it, you know. So it's best in most cases to keep your income opportunities to yourself. I try not to get personal with people while I'm at work. Now, some people say, hey, you know, I can't be myself at work, but I want to be myself at work. I want to be real. I want to be authentic. Here's the deal. You can't be yourself at work. And you probably shouldn't be yourself at work. What you want to be at work is you want to be a professional at work. You want to be a pro at work. That's what you want to be. Being real, and that doesn't really matter. What matters is you being a professional. And being a professional, what that could be, whatever that means to you at work, at your job, in your profession, in your office, and wherever you work. It's going to be something. Being a professional means something different, you know, in every job. But basically, when you're at your job, you should be a professional. You should be productive. You should try to be your best at doing whatever you're doing. You know, as far as being yourself, you can be yourself when you get off work. That's what you should be striving to do and be at work. You know, this ain't about keeping it real and expressing yourself and telling the boss how you feel. No, that ain't got nothing to do with no job description. No, you should be a pro, a professional, an expert. You should be competent, productive, be the best you can be. Try to be the top salesman, the top consultant, the top CPA, the top programmer. I think you see where I'm going with this. That don't got nothing to do with how you feel about the other coworkers, and no, this is not about feelings at work. No, this is about being a professional. That's where you want to strive to become. Be the best you can be at work. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? Sometimes being the best you can be might not be enough for some people. You know what I'm saying? And if that's the case, sometimes you might have to move on. And that's okay too. That's just a part of life. Everybody is not for everybody. You know, and there's a lot of politics on these jobs. As we know, there's a lot of mistreatment, a lot of unfair things going on at these jobs that you might not deserve. And we understand this. We know this. You know, everybody got eyes. We can hear and we can see. You know what I'm saying? We can see better than we can hear. So everybody knows it. This is not like a big secret. You know, but, you know, every place is not for everybody. And sometimes you might have to move on to bigger and better things. And that's okay. Don't take it personal. You know, of course, nobody likes being fired or being treated, but hey, you got to act and handle things accordingly. That's all I'm going to say about that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not going to get into what happens if you being mistreated, what you should do and all that stuff. I'm not going to get into all that. That's a video for another day, you know. But when things happen, you have to handle things accordingly. You know, this is a case by case basis type deal. You know what I'm saying? That's really how it go. You know, but you know, there's a lot of politics on these jobs. There's a lot of things that happen on these jobs that are totally against the rules and the policies and the laws. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I give you an example. If you're the type of guy that's a smooth operator with women, you know, you dress good, you look good, you smell good, you talk good, and you come in there and you're cool with all the ladies in the office, you're probably not going to be in there long. I'm just telling you. This is just how it go, because the managers in there, they're not having it. They're not gonna have you in there trying to, you know, the women like you and the women don't like them. So see the thing you have to understand is, you don't know the levels and the depths of how insecure a lot of these guys are that you work with. That's the thing you have to understand. These guys are so insecure on a level where it's like you can't even think of. You would never even think somebody would be that insecure. Someone is so insecure, they don't even want you around in their presence. That's how insecure a lot of these guys are, you know. And, you know, especially if the women they work around start to like you over them. And they just brought you in. They just hired you. And they're warming up to you, but they never warmed up to them. And they've been working there 10, 20 years. And you there 3-4 months, and you going out on a date with a woman that they've been trying to get for years. Oh man, that'll crush a dude's heart. That's how insecure a lot of these guys are. So this is why I say there's a lot of risks involved in dating women at work, because you have a lot of insecure guys, you know, well, it's men and women today, you know, because 9 times out of 10, your manager, supervisor at the company that you're working with is a white person. And these people are very insecure, and they're not going to let you come up in there, you know, and be in the spotlight. You talking to all the women, you collecting phone numbers, you're going to lunch with them. And see, some of these guys think they can go to lunch with the girls and she's gonna keep it on the low. No, she's not. They're gonna look, your coworkers, at some point they're gonna find out, because she's gonna tell. The same girl that you taking out for lunch, and you can tell her, hey, let's kind of keep this a secret between me and you, us going to lunch. She's gonna tell eventually. You know why I know this? Because they always do. They always tell. At some point, somebody's gonna see y'all a little too close together. You're talking a little bit too much, you know? And then the rumor is gonna start, I think they're dating. You know, I think they're, you know, whatever, girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever the case is. I think Amy likes him. I think Amy likes Darnell. I think Marcia likes Bryant. You know, you know, it's always gonna be something. You know, and the rumors start flying around, and the coworkers find out, and then it gets back to management, and then it becomes something else now. All of a sudden you getting rolled up. Now you all of a sudden you went from one of the best coworkers to the worst. you can't do anything right now. You're getting rolled up, you know, and the manager keeps calling, the supervisor, manager keeps calling you in the office, and you trying to figure out why the hell you got rolled up. Somebody told on you, you don't know who it is, you know, and 9 times out of 10, the person that told on you is the same person that you talk to most of the time, because you talk too much. There's a lot of people that are kind of naive to this. They think just because somebody's cool with them, they think if they're cool with somebody, the person talking to them all the time, they seem nice, they never assume that this person is probably going to tell on them or gossip about something, to somebody, and that person that they're gossiping to about you is probably cool with the manager or the supervisor. And that's how the rumors and the word gets around in the office about the new guy is dating this chick and that chick, and now you getting rolled up, and maybe in a lot of these jobs, I think 3 write-ups is like, they can fire you. 3 write-ups, they can fire you. Or they can recommend you get fired in most cases, right? So now your days might be numbered, and you just got this job. And you said you liked the job. But now you're being fired because of and it could be a lie. The rumor that's going around about you it might be a lie. But you know what I'm saying? All you did is went to lunch with the girl. And they're trying to say you sleeping with the girl. And that's what I'm talking about. That's why you don't date on the job. That's why I don't do it. I've seen what has happened over the years working these jobs, and I've worked a lot of jobs. I've seen what has happened. And and whether it's true or false, the rumor, it don't even matter. The only reason the rumor got started is because you were basically talking too much. You were getting personal with people. You assume people were cool with you. Maybe you were cool with them, but they weren't necessarily cool with you. See, a relationship is a 2-way thing, not a 1-way thing. See, people might see you one way and you might see them in another way. That's how it goes. This is why I say don't do it unless you're on your way out. You got a new job, you done turned your 2-week notice, and have at it. Collect all the phone numbers as much as you want. You know what I'm saying? It don't even matter. But if you like that job, you want to stay at that job, don't do it. Now if you're at a job that you don't care about, like, I don't know, some retail job, Walmart, Target, whatever, that you don't care about, restaurant, whatever, something like that, bar. Well, okay, if you don't care, okay, all right, whatever, it's cool, But if you had a job that you care about and you need that job, I say don't do it. Don't do it. Don't be going up in there trying to keep it real and speaking your mind and I'm being authentic. This is my authentic self, and telling people how you feel. No, you should be a professional. Be productive. Do your job to the best of your ability. That's it. All this crying on the job and telling people how you feel and speaking your mind, and no, the hell with all that. You're there to make money at the end of the day. That's what I was there for. I'm there on the job to make money. I'm not seeking validation from anybody. I'm not even trying to be friends with anybody on the job. No, I'm not even trying to be friends with anybody. Because before I came there, I didn't know any of these people on the job. So when I leave there, I'm probably not going to be friends with anybody either. I'm there for the money. And I'm there to do the job. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And I highly recommend you to do the same thing. But hey, you might disagree. You know, you might have dated people on your job and said, hey, you might have done it multiple times and have had no problems. And if that's the case, cool. Tell me about it below. Like, share this episode. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.
Alright. Just got the call, it's going down tonight. It's a lot of goodbyes here tonight. But then I saw the sky and that I like. Here from